So just so you know what you're looking at, all the ones that say awesome hot sauce on it, my wife and I make here in San Diego. This is all of our mild, medium, and hot. And over here in the center panel is all of our extra hot. If you see anything you want to try, just let me know. You know, it's funny. When I first recorded this video, it was before the threat got so severe. I just decided on a whim to record my intro. And I was going to use it in a employee training video. And then lo and behold, it's some of the last footage I ever shot at my store. And now it serves as a virtual tour for our website. Hey guys, we're going to put together a GoFundMe campaign due to the fact that we're facing a very long time already, seemingly, for us, with our store being temporarily closed out in San Diego. As I mentioned before, we ship from an alternate location outside of the state, and we also produce from outside the state in a very safe facility. Because I'm the only guy who makes the sauce, there's no distancing things. I've been in food safety all my life. My parents used to own an Italian restaurant when I grew up, and it's been something I've slept and breathed my entire life, so we're good on that. This GoFundMe campaign is going to be hopefully just one more way to ensure that we can maintain until this is all over, because not knowing when it will be, I just need to take precautions for my family. So it's not, again, like, I understand a lot of people are going through the same situation I am. A lot of people are out of work, just like we kind of are. Luckily, we do have our website, so it's not like one of those things that I'm expecting anybody to do anything. It's just, if you have the means and you see some value in the thing that we do and you want to ensure that it is still there, then the GoFundMe campaign, or just going to the website and making a purchase, is the way to make sure that it stays. Okay, I appreciate everything that you guys do, the outpouring of kindness in your comments when you guys are making these orders or sending me emails telling me, you know, just hang in there. It touches our heart. My wife and my daughter are very grateful for the life that we have, and Rebecca sends her love as well. She reads all the orders just like I do. She's the one that packages them after I've made the product. So we see everything that you guys say, and we just want to say how humbling and how grateful we are to you. Thank you. SemperFryLLC.com and Awesome Hot Sauce. Our story is a love story, from ideas to farmers markets to our very own store in Old Town San Diego. Hello, my name is Daniel with SemperFryLLC. It's my company. It's sole proprietorship. I created a product called Awesome Hot Sauce, and I started off in farmers markets about 7 years ago is when I got my permits and I got my license, my business license, and was working for the IBW for a while, and on the weekends I was able to get into a couple farmers markets, and I was working 7 days a week and producing my sauce at a facility so that I could take it out on the weekend to try to get my business going. I did it that way for quite a while, and then when there was local union layoffs for in between big jobs or whatever, I would use that time that I was off to try to get into more farmers markets throughout the weekdays too, and I did do that. And at some point I finally said, you know what, I gotta make a choice. I have to either decide to do 100% of myself and my effort in what I'm already doing, or in the business that I want to be doing. And took a big leap against my family's, their better judgment, to their shock and horror, basically, of my family back east. I stepped out of the union and I went into self-employment full-time. Doing farmers markets like that, I was able to sustain life. Things were picking up as I was going along, just regular timeline. I would learn a little bit more and fine-tune how I was doing stuff, and I had a lot to learn. And I also was making more different varieties of my hot sauce. Right now I have 35, plus my wife makes a spicy honey. So when I first started the business, I didn't know her yet. I didn't meet her until about maybe at least a few months when I was completely self-employed before I had met her. So she didn't know me when I was working as an electrician. She only knew me after. Whatever magic her and I were able to to create at a farmer's market together, it was awesome. Like, we had a really positive vibe going, a very positive reception. People really enthusiastic about the product, because that's what I focused everything on. It was just, I knew that this sauce was so good because I lived with it since I was 14. Like, my dad used to make a sauce that was kind of like it, and then I took that recipe and just made it until I finally made something a little bit different than his, but a lot of things from that sauce I learned from making my dad's all the time. So I took that into it, and then the sauces that I made after that were all inspired from the same idea of making hot sauce, but not all inspired off the original recipe. And like I said, we have 35 different varieties of hot sauce. We did farmers markets for probably about a year. We're talking really hot weather on pavement underneath a tent where it just steams up and it's really humid and stuff like that, and just doing our thing with a smile on our face for a very long time, and we loved it. It's a lot of setup, it's a lot of prep, it's a lot of doing a lot of different things. There's a lot of work involved, and being a moving market, like a moving storefront. One day at an IB market, because this was all being done in San Diego, okay? An IB market, we were approached by somebody who tried some of our sauces. He was a really nice gentleman, and then when he was walking away, my wife noticed that he looked like he was discomforted. It was another hot day, and he had just had hot sauce, so she dipped into our cooler and filled up a bottle of water. I go, yeah, please go ahead. And she ran out to him and gave him the bottled water. And there was a nice, polite, from what I'm looking from, over at the booth, and she's out there. So I'm noticing a very polite interaction there. And she comes back, this big smile on her face, and we just continue doing what we're doing. The farmer's market's still going on. Later, he comes back around again, and he asks us if we had ever considered our own store. And the first thing I thought of was like malls. The hot sauce stores in malls I've never seen do very well. Malls themselves are tanking because everybody goes to the internet for things, and a lot of the stores that used to be novelty places that you would go to a mall just to see, they don't do that anymore. So I was kind of skeptical at first. I'm like, I don't know. We have these farmers markets here, and then when we went in for the meeting anyway, all right? And then by the time the meeting was over, I was so impressed and so excited and seeing what a great opportunity this was, that I was the person that was, went from skeptic to believer, and Rebecca, who was like, well, let's just see, started to become more of a skeptic. And I was like, well, no, let's just try it out. And I broke it down for her, like what we would have to make what we would make now a day would be this, and I was like, that doesn't seem like it's a lot, and it seems like it'd be okay, and plus we don't have to move our stuff every day, we can put it in one spot and it's there, so we were doing farmers markets a little bit still, but once we actually got into the store, it got so busy so quickly that we didn't really have time to do that. We have had the most amazing journey. The people who offered us the place gave us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be in Fiesta de Reyes, which is Old Town San Diego. It's state-run property. It's in a state park. It's a tourist area. They do an amazing job with marketing, so there's always, when there's tourists, when there's travel allowed, when there's things like that in a normal world, it's the greatest place you could be. Constant flow of new people. It's not just stagnation of the same people over again that already have their mind made up and their pretenses. There's new people all the time, and we have customers from all over the world. I think the only place I haven't seen an internet order from people who've been to our store. We just had another one from Israel, but we've had one. I think maybe Russia, or maybe just not too many spots in Russia, but everywhere else you can think of, yes, we've sent a package there, more than likely. There's like a little map that Weebly does, and it shows you all the dots that you've hit, and pretty much every continent we've been on a ton. So that's all because people found us first at our farmers markets who were traveling to San Diego, and then at our store, and mostly at our store because we get a lot more traffic there. Anyway, it was providing for my family quite well. About a year to the day, we moved into the store to set up shop on July 2nd, 2015. That very next year, on July 2nd, once again, 2016, my daughter was born. So she was born exactly 1 year to the day on the anniversary of our store. The store's birthday is her birthday. She's a year younger than the store. It's pretty magical thing. Unbelievable. Who could plan that? That's Matrix, you know? So anyway, as of, I believe it was March 17th or 18th, pretty much the 17th, because there was a lot of stuff going on. We had been closing a couple days because of things being weird, and they finally got the word. You know, the state-run properties are going to be the first ones to comply to, or be forced to comply to, state mandates, state decisions, state voluntary, but also suggestions by the state. You know, so they're going to be the first ones to go. So I've been out of my business, my storefront, for almost a month now. I mean, we're talking 3+ weeks, and it's getting kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. We went from making and this is just gross sales. I mean, I have employees. I have a ton of overhead. Our first year there, it was just me and my wife. Just me and my wife until she was about 8 months pregnant. Splitting the 11-hour day in half, and then also still making all the product for our store. So we were the only two people interacting with our customers, just like we were doing the farmers markets, except for now we were doing a store. Once, 8 months pregnancy hit, when we started looking for employees, and I just gotta say, I spent so much time building up that store that I didn't really put the same amount of effort into our website. I can reach more people face to face. It makes more sense if you have that available to you to focus on that. The impressions in person are always going to be better. They get to taste the product, they get to know it, they get to have a personal experience with it. It made perfect sense to do that. And then I have these lists of people. Let's just pull them out. Yeah, I kind of built up. I have them all plugged in now, but they have these discount. We have a sign-up list for discount coupon codes for our website. I don't want to show the names, but I'll just show you. That's a pretty thick. Let's see if I can do it. It's a pretty thick amount of paper. This isn't all of them, but these are the ones I've put in. And we have thousands upon thousands of emails that I recently put another probably twice as much into manually typed in to send out new emailers, because now I have nothing but the website to focus on. Our store was generating in gross anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 a month gross. Trust me, we're just like you guys. We are not rolling in it. I drive a 99 Astro van. My wife drives a 94 Astro van. Okay, we're not materialistic. We don't have it like that. We do a lot of work. We work 18-hour days. We love our life. We were very content with everything. Our daughter gets to go to gymnastics and karate, and she gets to explore things. We get to take her places. Back when you could still do that, we would go to a lot of parks, trampoline parks, just spending time with our daughter. So that's where all of our energy went when we weren't putting it into the business. My point now is, overnight, $15,000 or $20,000 gross income was just erased. And I say 15 to 20 because it has to do with the month. There's a season for travel, The spring, summer is usually going to be pretty busy, and then you'll get a little something between Christmas time and whenever there's school breaks, because people travel when there's school breaks. So imagine, if you will, it's not even that we were considered non-essential. It's just that they decided that whole section, there's 19 different businesses in this plaza. If people aren't allowed to go outside, there's no point in keeping it open. If you can only have 10 people in there, the whole plaza at one time, because of suggestions with an implied threat, then of course you're not going to be able to do business there. So it is what it is. It wasn't going to do anything. As long as this is going on, it's not. We shouldn't have our doors open. But imagine, if you will, and maybe you can relate to this directly, because maybe it has happened to you. Maybe you have lost your job, and maybe you are freaking out over it. My 3 employees are waiting for a job. I can't expect them to wait forever. They're gonna have to find other means at some point if they're not living with family, and 2 of them are not. So it's very very nerve-wracking, because we went from having a very comfortable, a very well-defined routine and system, to having to figure out life all over again. And it's not because of something that we didn't do right. We did everything to the best of our ability every day. We put our best foot forward. We put the work ethic, the effort, all that stuff, just to have it taken away from us. Like that. And I want to make it clear, this is not something I hold against anybody. I know that it's a system thing, and that it's got nothing to do with any individual that I know personally at all. The people that I know, the ones that gave us a shot, we love like family. The ones that gave us this opportunity and gave us a chance to earn that opportunity day in and day out, we love those people like family. They've done so much for us. Our daughter is in existence because we felt confident enough that we would be able to financially provide for her because of the store. This whole thing, our whole lives are wrapped around that store that we no longer operate at the moment. And it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. So this GoFundMe campaign, not trying to be long-winded, but I went from having zero startup money and just a bunch of ideas, and then taking that chance on those ideas and deciding that this is what I was going to do, and then somehow like the universe just kind of got out of my way, you know, or helped. And then I found Rebecca, and our combined energy ended up landing us the most perfect store we could have ever asked for the nature of business that we have. And with the little savings that I've got, if this thing drags out like more than a couple months, we're probably going to lose our home. I mean, our vehicles aren't worth anything to sell. You know, I got rid of one recently, an old car for like $800. What's that do? Is that like a couple utilities bills? I mean, it's you know, the other insurances like the car insurance, the business insurance, whatever rents we still have to pay in order to retain our spot for our store, and all this other stuff. You know, our normal personal rent and things like that. That's still comes regardless if you're making and generating income or not. So the website is where we're at now. The only place you can find my product before was at my store or the site. It's an exclusive product because I handcraft everything personally myself. I don't make it fast enough to wholesale. I can't give out 30 cases and then still have enough to fit stuff on my shelf, because I'd be dead from exhaustion before I was able to do that. There's not enough hours in a day for all that. But now that we don't have the store to fill, I mean, I probably could consider some sort of wholesale in a small degree, like 10 cases here, 10 cases there. But also, I mean, we need to just have more people aware of the website itself. So far, our loyal customers, because of these emails, they've been getting back to us with very positive, very encouraging, very loving messages in their comments, because there's a comment section that you can write stuff in when you place your order. They're very, very, very supportive of us. We made really good patrons, made very good family of customers throughout the years. And it's been 7 years. 7 years since the day I started farmers markets to now. We've been in the store for a little bit over 4. So, is that right? Yeah, I guess that is right, because the first 5 or 6 months I was only doing the weekends. So that's why I say it took me only about a year to get into the store, because really when I went full-time, it was about 1 year from the time I went full-time farmers markets to the time the store was offered to us. But maybe it was a year and a half the other direction if you also count the time that I was just doing it on the weekends. It's scary, you know. My family is everything to me. It's weird to have to go through this, because I mean, like, there's nobody has a benchmark for this. There's no oh, remember that other time this happened? There is none of that. This is a very unique situation, one I have my own opinions on that I'm going to leave out of this, but I really hope that people see the value in the things that we do and understand. And look, I understand too that if you're going through the same stuff that I am, you're not going to have extra or feel comfortable purchasing things that aren't within your like necessities. That's understandable too. That's the climate that this thing has created. I totally get that. I wouldn't want anybody to put themselves out in order to help us either. That's not something that I want. But if there's some angels out there, you know, they call them that, it's just a nickname, we would be appreciative of it, you know. And then when it's going to go to good use, it's going to go to making sure I have stuff so that we can wait out whatever weirdness comes our way. And that's the main point of this GoFundMe campaign. It's not for I wish it was for more like, hey, we're gonna go reach this goal and go bang boom ba boom, you know. But it's not the climate to be thinking about the future. It's about the climate to think about how long is the present gonna last, you know. That's kind of where my head is at. So how much before things start to be diminishing, you know. I'm trying to put my finger in all the leaky holes in this boat, and with your help, it might make it a little bit easier. That's all. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to me. SemperFryLLC.com is the website. So there's 2 different ways you can help out. You can check out our hot sauce, world hot sauce award-winning is the Humzinger, the one that I created, with garbanzo beans and cumin. Tastes like a spicy hummus. And then there's 34 other varieties, give or take, on the website right now for you to check out. And we guarantee you're gonna love it. It's not gonna be like any other hot sauce you ever had. This is gourmet stuff. It's not gonna be mass-produced. It's handcrafted. All the ingredients are super fresh, super high quality. That's why. And also, you know, our bottles are bigger than most regular hot sauce bottles. Most of them are 5 ounce by volume. Ours are 6 ounce by volume, and we overfill them, so you get a little bit more. All right, that's my rant. I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and please, if you have the means and you find it in your heart, my daughter and my wife and myself would be grateful for that. Thank you.